Have you ever looked into the mirror and said, what's wrong with me? Am I a glutton? Am I stupid? Why can't I stop overeating? If you've ever asked yourself that question, I think this video is going to help you understand that question better than probably any video or article you've ever read or watched. What if I told you there's nothing wrong with you? You're just a normal human being trying to do what normal humans do. You're not a glutton. You're not a sloth. You're not stupid. You're not self-destructive. None of those things that you may have said about yourself in the mirror are true. I'm Dr. Berry, a family physician with 20 years of clinical experience. And this video is going to help you understand, finally, why you can't stop overeating. The truth of the matter is that you've been misled, not only by corporations and people that you probably know you shouldn't trust, but also by people who you love and trust the most on this planet. And I'm going to go through the 5 reasons why you can't stop overeating. And I've actually ranked these with the most important being the first. And so the first few are absolutely the ones that make you overeat the most often, but then all 5 are really important. And so if you want to stop overeating and stay stopped for the rest of your life, then these 5 tips are going to help you more than maybe anything ever has. And at the end of this video, I'm going to give you a challenge and it's going to fly in the face of everything you've ever been told about what to do to stop overeating. Your body and its physiology is a very logical system, okay? Your body is looking for a very short list of things in your diet. It's looking for amino acids that come from proteins. There's a list of these amino acids your body needs to build and rebuild you. It's looking for fatty acids that are coming from fat. There's a list of these. This is known. And your body's looking for a certain list of vitamins. Your body's looking for a certain list of minerals. That's it. That's what your body's looking for. And so when you eat the nutrient void food that the big food manufacturers market to you and use their scientists in chemical factories to design and to make, that's nutrient void. You're not getting any of these things. You may be getting a few of them, but you're not getting them all. And so not only are you contending with your tendency to overeat, you're also dealing with cravings because your body is craving food because it's low on iodine or copper. You don't know that. There's not a dummy meter that says, hey, you're low on iodine. You just know you're craving something, but you don't know what it is, and that's going to lead to overeating. So you've got to get all these things, but if you're not getting them from your diet, then you're constantly hungry, you're constantly craving, you're never satisfied because your body has not checked off everything it needs from the foods you're eating because it's just not in there. The number one reason you can't stop overeating is because of food science. Did you know that the big food corporations like Kraft and Kellogg's and Quaker, they spend millions of dollars employing food scientists to find the perfect spot. They call it the bliss point of sugary, of salty, of fatty, and they never use good ingredients in these things. It's always sugar, it's always grains, and it's always vegetable oils. And they can actually scientifically figure out how to make foods, they call them foods, I call them food-like products, that you just can't stop eating. That's why when you open a big family-sized bag of potato chips, you're going to eat the whole damn thing. It's because they're designed so you can't just eat a small portion. And so it's literally made to make you eat more. They make more money when you eat more. Therefore, it is in their best interest if you eat more. Number 2 is marketing. So the big food corporations already have the science that they can hack your hormones that are in charge of telling you when you're hungry, telling you when you're full. They can even hack into your brain stem and the deep parts of your brain. So number 2 is marketing. Now think about any food commercial that you've ever seen or any ad. I bet you if I say something like Rice Krispies or Frosted Flakes, I bet you can still sing me the jingle from a commercial you saw when you were a child, right? So these big food corporations spend millions of dollars hacking into your emotions, the deepest parts of your brain where your emotions reside. And they can actually take up, you might not be able to remember your own mom or dad's birthday, but you can damn sure remember that Tony the Tiger commercial. You see that? That's so powerful for them. So they can actually hack into your physiology with their food scientists and hack into your emotions and occupy a closer place, deeper in your heart than your own family. They do all this with science and with millions and millions of dollars that they spend for science and spend for marketing. The number 3 reason why you can't stop overeating is really a hamstring, because once you realize that number 1 and number 2 is true, what you tend to do is then you tend to go back to the foods that you were taught are healthy by people you care about. So your parents, your grandparents, your other relatives, your friends, what did they say was healthy? So you're going to put down the Cheetos and the Pepsi and the honey buns, and you're going to go back to eating healthy food. What do you go back to? Well, you go back to eating lots of whole grains. You go back to eating lots of fruit. You go back to eating lots of little 100-calorie little snack things, because that's very low in calories. That's probably going to help you not stop overeating, right? And so when you put away the sinful way that you were eating and go back to what you consider healthy, all of a sudden you're overeating again. And that's because these foods, you can overeat them just as almost as easily as you can eat the ultra processed, highly marketed, scientifically manufactured chemical plant foods that you were eating before. And so that's why so many people just get frustrated and give up, is because you went back to eating healthy and it didn't help a thing. You're still overeating, you can't lose weight, etc. The number 4 reason you can't stop overeating is because you have come to equate an emotion you feel with hunger. And so certain emotions you have feel like hungry, or they make you think you're hungry. And a large part of this is the fault of the big food manufacturers who have hacked into your emotional centers that I talked about earlier. They've also hacked into your physiology and biochemistry with their food scientists. And so they've completely mucked up your hunger circuitry and your fullness or satiety circuitry. And so you may equate feeling lonely with being hungry. You may equate feeling sad or depressed or dejected or like a failure. That's going to make you think you're hungry. And so also when you tie in your family connections, we even call them comfort foods. Comfort foods are never ribeye and ribs and liver. Those aren't comfort foods. Comfort foods always contain sugar, grains, and vegetable oils. And that's because they hack back into all this biochemistry and physiology that I've been talking about. You have to relearn what true hunger feels like and realize that sadness and loneliness and depression, those are not hunger cues, even though right now you feel like they are. The number 5 reason why you can't stop overeating is chronically elevated cortisol levels. And this comes from chronic inappropriate inflammation and chronic inappropriate emotions. So let's say you're working 2 jobs, both of which you hate. You're in a relationship with a partner whom you hate. You've got a dog that won't stop barking at night. You're about to lose your place because you can't pay the rent, because you keep calling into work, because the dog barks all damn night. And then also you have to fight with your spouse before you go. You see, that's a terrible life. But many of us are trapped currently, temporarily in that life. There are strategies that you can employ, such as cognitive behavioral therapy, box breathing. If you'll just get on YouTube and search for ways to cope with stress. If you can fix the stressful situation, then by George, fix it ASAP. But if you're stuck in it and you can't fix it right now, if you can use one of these strategies to just let it go, give it to the Creator, give it to whatever power you believe in, but let it go. That's going to help your cortisol level. Even though you're still stuck in the same crappy situation, it's all about your mental attitude. And if you're like, whatever, I don't care. I mean, I can't fix it right now, so I'm just going to let it go, do some box breathing, do this cool CBT therapy I learned about on a YouTube video. That's going to keep your cortisol level much, much more appropriately low. And then you're not going to be hungry nearly as often. And it's much easier to not overeat if you're not hungry. Now, I'm going to put a challenge out there for you. If you're currently an overeater, you overeat every day or almost every day, I'm going to challenge you with the following thing. And I want you to do this for 30 days. And I want you to see what a difference it makes in your life. Because right now, you've probably read that article on the internet that says you should eat out of smaller plates and the plate should always be red, and use a bigger fork and drink out of a slender glass and never eat alone and don't eat in front of the TV, as if those are scientifically proven ways that's what's making you overeat. No, that is a smokescreen. That has nothing to do with it. So for the next 30 days, I want you to eat the following things. And you can eat as much of these things as you want, and you can eat them as often as you want. So if you want to eat 6 times a day and eat as big a portion size as you can possibly stuff in your face hole of the following foods, then you get to do that. The following foods are beef, bacon, butter, eggs, liver, and sardines. So you can go back and watch that again and write those down. And so for the following 30 days, I want you to do the following. The reason I'm making this challenge to you is because you've been given so much stupid advice about how to stop overeating, how to take control of your appetite by experts who really don't know what the hell they're talking about. None of this stuff is based on science. So I want you to do the 30-day challenge with the foods I listed earlier. And here's your challenge. I want you to eat as many meals a day as you want. I want you to eat as much food as you want at each meal. I want you to eat alone. I want you to eat in front of the TV. I want you to watch the most distracting and entertaining show you can while you're eating. I don't want you to drink a liter of water before you sit down to eat. I want you to use the largest plate you can find and make sure that it's not red. So I don't just skip the plate. I want you to eat on a cafeteria tray, and I want you to mound the foods that I gave you the list of. Just mound them up. Just a crazy amount of food on your cafeteria tray. Okay? I want you to not savor your food. Don't savor it at all. I don't want you to eat slow. I want you to eat as fast as you possibly can. I want you to gobble down your food, okay? Do not be mindful of your eating. I want you to just be completely thoughtless and mindless while you're eating. No portion control whatsoever. I want you to eat until you're comfortably stuffed. Not only do I not want you to add fiber, I want you to eat no fiber for the next 30 days. No fiber whatsoever, because, you know, we're all told if you eat a lot of fiber, then that'll help you not overeat. And that's stupid because we all tried that and it never worked. I want you to skip breakfast. Definitely skip breakfast. I want you to have no schedule for your meals at all. When you're hungry, I want you to just sit down with your cafeteria tray that's not red, piled up with all the foods I gave you the list of, and eat until you're comfortably stuffed. I want you to eat with your dominant hand, not your non-dominant hand. Actually, I want you to eat with both hands, okay? Shove it in there, shovel it in. I want you to say mean things to yourself while you're eating, and I want you to have a terrible negative mental attitude while you're eating. Now, it may sound like I'm trying to be comical here, but what I'm really trying to get you to understand is that the exact opposite of everything I just said has been recommended to you as an overeater to help you control your eating. If you're eating the proper foods, then you can do all these things wrong and you still will not overeat. I promise you. Play video games while you're eating and have friends over who are just, they're terrible eaters, but you stick to the list of foods I gave you, and lo and behold, all these things won't matter at all. Interested? Please try this challenge for 30 days and then leave me a comment on this video about how it went and what your ultimate results are. My prediction is that you're going to no longer be someone who compulsively overeats, because you can't overeat on the foods that I listed, okay? Now, if you're eating healthy foods that Kraft told you was healthy, you can definitely overeat. If you're eating healthy foods that your grandma told you were healthy, you can probably still overeat. But from this list of foods, it is impossible for a human being to overeat them, because you have hormones in charge of your hunger. You have hormones that tell you when you're truly hungry. You have hormones that tell you when you're truly full. And when those hormones kick in, my friend, you're finished eating for then. And you won't be hungry again for hours, because this list of foods I just gave you are full of all of the things that I told you your body's looking for. This list of foods contains every amino acid you need. It contains every fatty acid you need. It contains every vitamin and every mineral that you need. Go out in the sun for 30 minutes a day and get your vitamin D. Boom, you're good. You've got every single thing you need. So there's not going to be any food cravings unless you're addicted to that crap that Kellogg's and Kraft and Duncan Hines tells you is healthy. And that could very well be the case. But you'll break that addiction within 3 to 10 days of doing this month-long challenge. And then for the last 2 or 3 weeks out of this month, you're going to have no food cravings at all. And you're also not going to overeat anymore. When you're done, your body will let you know, and you will put down your cafeteria tray that's not red, and you will find something fun to do because your body and your brain will be optimized by this diet that gives you every single nutrient that your mind and your body needs. Now, please leave me a comment and let me know if you've done this before, if you had positive results. Put it in the comments because people really need to understand that all the idiotic advice that they're given in the magazines, on television, on the internet, it's silly. It's time wasters. It's busy work. It does not help you stop overeating. But what I've just told you, if you will do it for 30 days, then you will never overeat again. This is Dr. Berry. I'll see you next time.